music.
Here we go. Let's. Would you like a little music, Maestro?
Let's go.
Would you like a little music? Because today's music is the absolute perfect way to start it. How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? This music, this genre, so romantic, so full of
passion. The Rat Pack.
I mean, I was listening to Dino yesterday, Frank Sinatra, all of this kind of stuff. Joey, just Tony Bennett, all of this kind of stuff.
Good morning, Nudelberg Daily Huddle.
Grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude, if this song doesn't rattle your cage, man, what are you doing?
Paul rushed in the first one in, and a huge shout out to Paul for his note that he sent to us on Friday. Just really unbelievable and really appreciative of
There's
that.
Larry Long. Big Huddle shout out. Birthday boy.
Happy birthday, Larry Long.
I am clear. I am focused. I am ready. But this song is there, and just in case you need a kick in the head. Ain't that a hole in the boat? Spinning my. Did you have a good weekend there, son?
I had a phenomenal weekend. Took the boy back to his mother, so we had a long car day on Saturday. Finished the book Mercy, which is the movie which was released and is out streaming with Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx. Good movie. Hard, probably a great movie, but because I read the book first, it didn't do the book justice. The book was phenomenal. I got to finish that book. How was your weekend? You went to the beach.
So I actually live less than a mile from the beach. And while I've been to the beach, I never actually, in the 4 years I've lived here, I never actually went and sat on the beach. And so that's music for today. Nice job, everybody. I actually went and stayed at the beach for a little bit, man, and it was spectacular. And I'm giving myself a kick in the head because I've been here for 4 years and I never did that. So we did the whole thing, ordered chairs, blankets, umbrellas, and our new routine is no TV, beach.
Yeah.
We're gonna get out and read, and it doesn't have to be sunny out. I just like the beach because it's energizing. Very interestingly enough, I believe life and sales and prospecting is very much like the ocean. Tide goes out, tide comes in. So in the morning, I'm pushing all of my stuff out. And then I wait, and at the end of the day, it comes in, I clean it up. And then, so that ebb and flow makes me feel good. And the rhythm and the sound of the ocean was incredible. Lots of fun stuff today. Today is Godfather Monday. Interestingly enough, here's a tidbit. The way the Godfather came about was Italians would joke that they were worthy of two fathers. So
their life was so hard that they needed two fathers.
Isn't that cool? Man, I love that. Yeah. Couple of shout outs before we get going because I love all this kind of stuff. For those of you who are paying attention, when you get off a good call or you get a great meeting or you've had a great something go on, follow up with a thank you note. Nothing like opening up stuff in the mail. So thank you, Tim, a fellow Gator who from Edward Jones. We connected just because we're Gators. Lori Solarillo, champion. She is amazing. I actually helped donate to a cause, backpacks and stuff. And so she wrote me a thank you note.
Mitch Ziffer, just thanking us for doing the huddle, actually sent me a gift card as well to Ramen Lab, who Mitch is doing great things for people in the direct mail space. So thank you, Mitch, for that. Much appreciated. And thank you for being a loyal follower of the huddle and here with us every morning.
Speaking of loyal following, Mark, it's been pretty overwhelming. The response. I know your boy Todd threw out something. He's on vacation this week at the lake or the beach house, and I hope he's listening. But overwhelmed with what this has done. Lots of inbound comments from new people. Thank you for all of that. So a couple of more housekeeping things that are kind of cool that we can have some fun with. This Friday is the 19th, and the Nike CEO came out and said Juneteenth, which is what that is affectionately called, they are creating a company-wide paid holiday, and here's why: commemorating the end of slavery in the U.S. starting that year. So lots of companies are giving that as a paid day off, and I think that is a tremendous timing to do that. Twitter is doing the same thing, and so let's show our respect on Friday. Just knowing the knowledge is pretty good stuff.
And if you want more knowledge, I had talked about it earlier, but Just Mercy, a great book to read about Bryan Stevenson. If you don't know who Bryan Stevenson is, the Equal Justice Initiative, unbelievable dude, and great story about him. The book is phenomenal. And then I watched Selma for the first time last night, and Selma was an unbelievable movie. Obviously it won a ton of awards.
What was it called?
Selma.
Oh, wow.
And it's about the movement in Selma. Obviously, it's about Martin Luther King, but it's specifically around how Selma got started as this, hot spot for the civil rights movement and what happened there all through the state of Alabama, all the way up to Lyndon B. Johnson. So unbelievable movie. So as you're getting into that space, if you're going to have Juneteenth off, make sure you do something to educate yourself and help yourself in the movement.
Awesome. Last thing, I'm all about goals. I'm all about competition. Today is the 15th of the month, and I'm hit my weight goal. Thank you, Howie. Thank you. A couple of people in the huddle have actually signed up with Howie for my the diet and health program that I'm on. I lost 17 pounds in 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, June 1st, I started this new program of how to eat. And so today I'm at 200, and I got 11 days to get to even lighter than I thought I could be. So I'm crushing it along. Here we go. Let's ready to get into the Godfather.
Let's get into the Godfather.
I should actually have the Godfather music teed up to play behind it. But anyway, it's all good. First thing first. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. That is Vito Corleone, right, the Godfather, and he says that. And for me and for everybody listening, the gigantic takeaway is that he, from day one, was all about building a network of influence. I'm serving you with that. Go.
Right. So I think that ties in directly to what we do every morning. I see a lot of people out there selling these mastermind groups and selling all of these, communities of people, of influencers. And I think what we're doing here every morning of just sharing our energy, sharing our passion, sharing our knowledge with everybody is we're giving to everybody. We might not ever ask somebody in this group for a favor, but I know that the names that I see every morning, if I ever needed something from one of them, I know without a doubt I could call them. And that's exactly what Vito did, right? I mean, all he did is if you came to him and he, in the beginning of the movie, he says this, what makes you come to me? Why would you come to me with such disrespect? All I ask is that you come to me and ask, right? Ask the right way. And I'd be willing to do anything for you, knowing full well that someday I might have a favor to ask of you,
So that clearly shows my mindset in how I built my network and built my business. It's not, who you know it, it's who knows you. Friday was another Learn LinkedIn Like a Pro. 40 plus people came through it with rave reviews as well. But that's the message there. Why would you want people in your network that you don't know and they don't know you? It seems fundamentally flawed for me. And so that one is a doozy. And I'll post these later so that we can have further dialogue. This one actually is my favorite. Hyman Roth. This is the business we've chosen. When I get into some of my one-on-one coaching or team coaching and salespeople are bitching This sucks. Oh, they're making me do this. Bah, 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 bah. Oh, you know what? This client did this. Listen, all that fucking shit in your head, get rid of it. This is the business we chose.
I love that. And yeah, I mean, it's true for every business across the world. Forget about just sales, but a good friend of ours, Coach Wonstadt, had that behind his head in his office, because when coaches would come in complaining about a player or something they had to do, this is the business we chose, So I think, understanding that the grass is never really greener on the other side. You're always going to have problems and obstacles and setbacks and whatever it is that you're doing. Accept it. This is the business we chose. How do you move forward with it? Keep that mindset looking forward, not in the rear view.
And in the movie, which is such a great scene, it's him talking to Michael Corleone, and Michael is saying this, and that. And he goes, remember, this is the business we chose, because they were talking about Mo Green getting killed. And he goes, remember, these are the rules.
Yeah. Nobody said anything when that happened. Right. He went missing. Nobody said anything, right?
That was right. There's no statue. There's no nothing. What a great scene. So third one, and may also be one of my favorites, and that's why we're talking about it today. Never tell anyone outside of the family what you're thinking. Now, I know for a fact, I can remember sharing this with you early in your life, telling you, don't be that guy that's doing dirty laundry. Don't be that guy that's bitching and moaning. Don't be that guy that's giving up confidential information. When someone tells you something, be the guy that they can count on to be a trusted advisor. Be the vault. When shit comes in, man, I don't spread it. I don't talk to it. There are people who have come back to me afterwards and said, hey, wow, I can't believe that you had the discipline not to say anything. I said, hey, that's how we roll.
And that's the same thing when you're in the process of doing business with somebody. If you're not doing business with them, if you don't have a signed contract and you guys aren't in the act of doing things, don't talk about it like it's done. Like it's not. You don't know. You guys are in conversation, you're in dialogue, but don't let that out there. Like keep it to yourself. Your business is your business. There are things that can be shared. And it's the same thing when we talk about how people approach social media. Is not everything is for everybody. So you have to figure out what you're willing to share and share those things.
And after hearing a couple of these, because I could go on, there's like 2 pages of notes that I took. I wrote about it in my book, how it influenced my life. And movies do play a big role for me, because there are movie quotes that mean a lot to me. And I'll finish up at the end with a non-Godfather quote that'll kind of keep you thinking. But here, let's go more. Quick shout out, Gary Press, South Florida Business and Wealth, is in the house.
Good morning, Gary.
Roommate. Good morning, Gary. Great to have you on board. Love this one. And this was when Michael was talking to Tom Hagen, who is the consigliere. Sammy, shout out to you, my consigliere. I've had a consigliere for 15 years. As you know, I won't buy shoelaces without talking to the guy. This is business, not personal. It's all personal, every bit of business. So speak to that.
So I love this because it's business. It's not personal. To me, the understanding of that is you have to keep your emotions out of it. And I think that's even in the movie, when you see people make emotional decisions, that's where they get in trouble. That's where things go wrong. So yes, it's personal because I believe that every bit of business is done through relationship, right? I mean, you pass that down to me. That's how we operate as a company. That's how everything happens, is there's a relationship involved with every piece of business that happens. So while business is relationships and it is personal, you have to find a way to keep your emotions out of it in order to make decisions. Because if you make emotional decisions, you make bad decisions.
So, this is a fundamental core value that I brought to business right straight from the beginning of my career. I take everything personally because it has my name on it. I want to show up and be the best I can be, not to please somebody else, not for the sake of doing it, but for me. I got my name on it. And so when I tell people, why me? Because you're not going to find anybody that works harder. So here's the actual line.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to read it.
Yeah. Tom, don't let anybody kid you. It's all personal. Every bit of business, every piece of shit, every man has to act every day because its life is personal. They call it business, okay, but it's as personal as hell. Bam.
I love that.
Hello.
I love that.
Okay, so fantastic. So we're going strong here. I think our timing is pretty good. A man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
Priorities.
Drop that. So interesting because Lori Salarillo, who I shouted out to before for the thank you note, and is screaming. I can hear her. How about I'll make you an offer you can't refuse to us. Everybody knows that. So she and I had a conversation yesterday, and I sent her a CEO report who I've done to Kim and some of the other people that are in my coaching world. And she took it and created her own acronym, which she's getting really good. She posted Heart last week. She posted something about priorities, and I'll post it again. Or Lori, why don't you put it in here? She spelled out what each letter in priority meant. It was an absolute bonanza. So great, because family, when it comes down to it, and I'm speak to you as humble and as clear that I can tell you, is at the beginning part of my career, I was all about business, about growing. I didn't care about friends. I didn't care about family. I cared about growing business because I thought my job was to go out and make money, and it was all about the more money I make, the more I could bring back to the family. And boy, was I wrong. And my epiphany, thankfully, that I had, wound up being that the more I spend time with my family and look at the product that is across the screen from me, people say, "Wow, I can't believe you get to work with your son." Hey, I can't believe it either.
And I want to go back. I want to go back to, that, it's business. It's not personal, but it is personal. Every bit of it is personal. That it drives home the fact that everything in today's world is about relationships. Like, I don't care if it's advertising. Like, the messaging has to be building a relationship with whoever the target audience is. If it's in sales, the one-on-one communication has to be about building relationships. And that's the difference of today's world than ever before, is the ability to have relationships, manage relationships, and cultivate relationships all day long, every single day, right from your couch. Like that one core principle of the movie, which I could go on hours for that. It transcends every different kind of industry. It transcends everything in life. It transcends family. If your family doesn't have good relationships in it, it's not family.
Correct. It's my brother from another mother. Byron is as much a brother of mine as my real brother.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or more. All right, so a couple more. So we'll keep bringing this home. Never hate your enemies because it affects your judgment.
Bam. Keep your emotions out of it. And this is something that it's taken me a long time to get to, because I would have heated arguments with head coaches that I worked for, because it was my ego and it was all about me wanting to get my agenda or my ideas pushed across to the team. And as soon as I understood that if I could remove my emotions, it allowed me to communicate in a way that didn't come off as aggressive, that didn't come off as fighting what the head coach wanted, I was able to get so much more done, so many more points put across, and accomplish a lot more of my goals, because I took my emotions out of it. I didn't hate anybody. I wouldn't get angry about anything. Okay, fine. How do I navigate the circumstances now?
Pretty spectacular. I'll close. And listen, I have 50 of these. I did all of the research for my book because, as I told you, I just love it. Here's the last Godfather one for today. Do not count on the gratitude of deeds done for people in the past. You must make them grateful for the things you will do for them in the future. And if that isn't a drop the mic, walk off the stage quote, most people, forget about salespeople, most people are focused on, look at what I did. Look at what, look at the gratitude. But, I think it's a different mindset when you talk about counting on the gratitude of other people. I don't donate money. Donating money is a very selfish thing. Donating time is a very selfish thing. I do it because of the way it makes me feel. And in turn, it makes other people feel really, really well. Any comments there to finish up, Sonio?
No, I think it's great. I think, if you haven't seen The Godfather, you're not a big Godfather fan, you have to invest in it. We have these conversations all the time. The second one might be my favorite of the trilogies.
Nah.
I love the second one. Seeing a young Vito as Robert De Niro, hard to beat that for me. I love that movie. But obviously, first one is classic, unbelievable, and so many great lines.
So last one, and then I'm going to give you one from another movie. Forgive, forget. Life is full of misfortunes. And for those of you out listening to this who are entrepreneurs or salespeople, you are going to get your losses. You are going to lose in the game. Part of being great in sales is just having more losses, having more people. So great topic to kick you in the head for Monday. The whole Godfather theme. Embrace these. Take quotes, run with them. And then I'm going to switch gears and give you one that you don't even know that's coming, Mr. Nudelberg. The movie Cool Hand Luke. There was a scene in the movie. Strother Martin is the head of the jail. Paul Newman is the inmate. He's Luke. And he goes out on the chain gang and he says he's got to go to the bathroom and they can't see him. So they said, give us a sign that we know that you're still there. And he's shaking the trees, boss.
Shaking the tree, boss. Shaking the tree, boss.
And I'll tell you this, that movie's very old. It's fantastic. Paul Newman, God, he could be one of the best looking actors ever. He's just fun to watch. But my takeaway for salespeople is shake the trees, man. This morning I got up super early. I reached out to 5 people that I have not spoken to in years. Elizabeth Chisholm, who was with Toshiba, is now with some other company, pharmaceutical company. I just reached out to her and I said, hey, let's grab a virtual coffee. And she just sent me a note. I am so happy. All I did was shake the trees, boss.
Shout out to Jeffrey Williams, who said failure to communicate. What we have is a failure to communicate, which is another great sales lesson.
And you know what? That movie's filled with
maybe we'll do that on Friday.
There's
more Luke Friday.
to do. Great Monday, everybody. It's June 15th. It's still time to kick June in the ass. Go out and make it happen. And thanks for joining us.
See you.
Stay on the ball.